Hello and welcome to this episode of IPcast, a podcast on IP-related matters by Starks, a niche law firm specializing in intellectual property law and international trade law. My name is Maria Baitsova-Wenans and I'll be your host today. This time I will be brief. We had a longer episode the previous time. By the way, if you missed it, I talked about mediation, a type of alternative dispute resolution in the context of art-related disputes. For those of you interested, I will add a link to that episode in the description to this one. Today, let's take a step back and talk about why would anyone need to care about IP. So if you have a friend that tells you, oh, come on, all that IP stuff, I don't care about it, please forward him or her this episode, as I will give 5 reasons to really care about intellectual property. Shall we start? Reason number 1. Unlike with most assets, the value of intellectual property can increase indefinitely. Do you know what's the value split between tangible and intangible assets of the most valuable companies out there? Exactly. It is more than 20 to 80 in favor of intangibles. Reason number 2. There is more than one way to get value out of your intellectual property. Licensing is one of them. Using IP portfolio as a collateral for obtaining different types of financing is the other. IP can be sold. There's a possibility for sale and lease back arrangements that can be interesting from the taxation perspective. And this list goes on. Reason number 3. Risk management. You would want to have freedom to operate instead of being forced to, for instance, change your trademark in the new market because someone else has already registered it there. On the other hand, you also don't want to be accused of infringement, even unwilling. And this point is also very, very much looked at by the investors. Investors love intellectual property because it results in higher return on investment and in successful risk mitigation. Reason number 4. You want to be taken seriously, right? Well, a company that does not protect its own investments is hard to be taken seriously. By ignoring IP, not only does your company potentially put itself in a difficult position, but also puts in such position its potential partners. Reason number 5. IP is also a great marketing tool. If you took an effort to protect what you're offering in the market, that means it is valuable enough to be protected, and hence it will stand out. Brand is a promise. You might have heard this expression. Well, brand is a promise only if this promise is actually linked to your company. If it is registered as your trademark or design or patent or whatever. In other words, if you want your business to be sustainable in the long run, you need to take IP seriously. Because intellectual property allows companies to create their competitive advantage and make it sustainable. But remember, not just any IP, but only IP that supports your business strategy, that fits your particular business model, and that protects customer-relevant features of your specific offering. Are you ready to conquer the market? Then let the carefully crafted IP strategy ensure that your competitive advantage is truly sustainable. Thank you very much for listening. If you liked this episode, please press that sweet heart button and do share it with your colleagues and friends, especially the ones that are still skeptical about intellectual property. And as always, for any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns, our email address is info@starks.be. Starks, your sustainable growth supporter.